So good morning once again, everyone. Good morning, Utkarsh. Let's see first the today's topic 8.6, the midpoint theorem. 8.6 topic in your books, page number 148, the midpoint theorem. This theorem is very helpful in solving many questions. Let us see what is it. Many of you must have an idea because yesterday I have explained a little bit about this. First, let's make a triangle. We all know midpoint means that point which divides that line segment in two equal parts. So, if the condition for this theorem is if D and E, class try to understand this, if D and E are the midpoints of side AB and AC, let me check who are there, Jivansh and Jasnoor. Then we can say that this line segment which joins these midpoints, that is DE, is parallel to third side which is BC, and it is equal to half of it. I hope you are able to understand the midpoint theorem. The statement is very simple. The line, yes sir, Bhavya Bhatia. The line joining the midpoints of two sides, or you can say of any two sides, of a triangle is parallel to third side and is half of it. So this property is for every triangle, right angle triangle also. Yes, beta, you can take any triangle. If in that triangle you are joining midpoints of two sides, that line formed will always be parallel to the third side and is half of it. Okay, it is applicable to any triangle, but don't confuse. Don't use this property in quadrilaterals. This property is for triangles only. Okay. Now, second comes the converse of this theorem. Converse means the reverse of this. Let's see that also. First, let me know, is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? Midpoint theorem. Good, Bhavya. Others, please. Yush, good. Moksha, okay. Utkarsh, good. But try to answer at least yes. Good, Ananya. Ishan. At least yes, you can say. No, you can say. Others, please respond. Good. Now, let's see the converse of midpoint theorem. Converse of MPT. Converse is simple. For that also, first I will explain on diagram. Try to see the diagram carefully and then try to understand how it works. This says if we have one midpoint, suppose we have A, B, C, and we have only one midpoint D. So if D is a midpoint of AB and we make a line like this such that DE is parallel to BC. So there are two conditions in this converse MPT. First is D is the midpoint. That means we know that AD equal to DB. Second is we know this DE is parallel to BC. Then we can say from our side, then we can say that E is a midpoint of AC or AE equal to EC. This is converse of midpoint theorem, and the statement is like this: line starting from midpoint of one side. Sir, in a scalene triangle, all sides are unequal. So midpoints will also be unequal. So how will it be parallel? Better that you can try on your own. Okay. Because if this was the case, they would have said that these conditions or these theorems are only for isosceles and equilateral. But nowhere they have said this thing. They are saying only a triangle. If they are saying triangle, that means they are generalizing it for any triangle. Okay. For your convenience, you can take a triangle and try to find their midpoints, join them, and see your on your own. Okay. Now, so line class, try to understand. I am showing on the diagram also. So line starting from midpoint of one side. This is your first side. Line starting from midpoint of first side going parallel to the second side. This is your second side. Will bisect the third side. This is the theorem. So let me write again pura completely. So line starting from midpoint of one side going parallel to second side will bisect the third side. I hope this is clear to everyone. Please confirm if you are able to understand the converse of MPT. Still, you have to watch that lecture that I have uploaded yesterday. In that lecture, I have proved these things. Okay, from where we have got this, I have proved over there. You just have to watch that lecture and every step is cleared over there. Okay. And to prove these things, we are taking help of parallelogram. In that proof I have shown you, we are taking help of parallelograms. Okay. Now, let's start with the questions and let's try to understand how to use these in our question. First, I will take example number 7 as it is customary to start with examples only so that you can try questions of exercise on your own. Example 7. So, in this we have a triangle like this. Sir, why we are studying these in quadrilaterals? Because they will help us in quadrilaterals. That's why. Okay, Moksh. I told you whole geometry is interconnected. Now we have got to the point where we need their help. That is why they came for us. And obviously we know a quadrilateral can be made up of two triangles. So it is always having a triangle inside it. Now, the question, triangle ABC, DEF are the midpoints. So given to you is D, E, F are midpoints. So now you should be attentive as soon as you see this term midpoint. You should think about this thing that if midpoint is coming, maybe we can use midpoint theorem. Okay, this should come to your mind. Second thing they are saying is show that triangle ABC is divided into 4 congruent triangles. To prove triangle, okay, so actually we have to prove triangle BDE congruent to triangle DEF. Similarly, ADF congruent to this one and so on. We have to do these things to prove all sub triangles congruent. Now class, sir, DF equal to EC equal to BE. DF equal to EC equal to BE. Yes, beta, you are correct. Now, if you remember, we have studied in a parallelogram, diagonal divides the parallelogram in two congruent triangles. Class, do you remember this thing, this property of parallelogram? Please answer. We have studied that in a parallelogram, diagonals divide parallelogram in two congruent triangles. So we know all these things. That means, that is a hint. We have to prove these small quadrilaterals are parallelogram. If somehow I can prove this DF EB a parallelogram, I think my job will be done. What do you say? Can we prove this DFEB a parallelogram? Can we prove this DFEB a parallelogram? Yes, sir. Why? Because we can use midpoint theorem over here. So let us start with the question. And I have told you, before coming to the main figure, we should first accumulate all the required things. Yes. Okay. First thing we can say that DF is parallel to, class, please answer. DF is parallel to, please answer fast. First thing we can say, DF is parallel to BC. Very good. Why? Because we have studied that line joining midpoints of two sides will be parallel to third side and is half of it. These dots are coded things. This coding is for me only, not for you. If you make these dots in your copy, I will give you 0 marks. Okay, so write the complete theorem over there. You can write midpoint theorem also, but I prefer you write complete theorem. This will help you to learn also. Now, if DF is parallel to BC, can't we say DF is parallel to BE also, because BE is part of BC only? Class, can't we say DF is parallel to BE? Therefore, DF is parallel to BE. We have got the first thing. Sir, please again. Okay, Ibn, this D and this F are the midpoints. It is given to us. And we have studied that line joining midpoints of two sides will be parallel to third side, that is BC, and is half of it. If you remember, Ibn, that is why I have written this thing. DF is parallel to BC. Okay, and if it is parallel to complete BC, it means it is parallel to BE also. That is why I got this thing. I hope it is clear to you now, Ibn. Okay. Similarly, you can say this FE is parallel to AB, or you can say the reverse also. I can say DF is also equal to half of BC. We can take that also. DF is equal to half of BC. Again, by midpoint theorem, we can say, class, DF is parallel to BC and DF is half of BC. So we can use this thing. Now, this BC is also divided in two parts. We can write like this. DF is equal to half of BE plus EC. They two are equal. We can write this as DF is equal to half of twice BE. 2 and 2 will cancel. We will get DF is equal to BE. So from equation 1 and equation 2, what we can say, class? Equation 1 is DF parallel to BE and equation 2 is DF is equal to BE. What can we say from these two equations? Please answer. We can say it is a parallelogram. Very good, Vaishnav. So from equation 1 and 2, we can say DFEB is a parallelogram, and due to this we can say triangle, this is D, not a triangle, okay, this is a D, DFEB. So triangle BDE is congruent to triangle FDE. So we have got the first answer. Class, I hope you are able to understand this. In similar way, can you see the remaining two parallelograms? Class, can you see the remaining two parallelograms? Yes. So the next parallelogram that you can see is this one. DFCE. Yes, class. We have proved in the first part DFEB a parallelogram. Now we can see the next parallelogram, that is DFCE, and everything is clear already. We already know that DF is parallel to BC, so we can say DF is also parallel to EC. Again, DF parallel to BC, therefore we can say DF is parallel to EC also. Yes, class. First thing, and DF was equal to half of BC. We can say DF is equal to half of twice EC, that is DF equal to EC. So we have got equation number 3, equation number 4. Can't we say, sir, if AF plus FC according to converse theorem, AF plus FC according to converse theorem. Yes, beta, but that is already given to you, na? Why you are wasting your time on that? Converse, so you already know. They are already equal because F is midpoint. Why you would use converse theorem then? Already given to you, it is a midpoint. No need to use that. Okay. So, class, we have proved this DF is parallel to this EC. This DF is equal to this EC. Therefore, DFCE is a parallelogram. Again, we can say these two triangles are also congruent. Therefore, triangle DFE is congruent to triangle CFE. So with this way, we have proved this triangle congruent to this triangle equal to this triangle. Yes, class? Till now, it is clear to everyone. Now we will take which quadrilateral, beta? Now we will take which quadrilateral? The last one, ADEF. Very good, Bhavya. Others, please see. We have used two parallelograms. Now we'll take the last parallelogram, that is ADEF. Sorry, it is a quadrilateral. We are trying to prove it parallelogram. Yes. So the last one, but not the least one, in this ADEF, we can say again, or also you can write this EF. If you observe, E and F are the midpoints. That means the line joining these EF is parallel to AB. Again, EF is parallel to AB because midpoint theorem, and EF is equal to half of AB. From this we got EF is parallel to AD, and from this we got EF is equal to AD. Yes, class? Sir, don't we have to write three things for congruency? Okay. Vaishnav. Before starting the question, Vaishnav, I said one thing. Try to recall that. I told you, if you have a parallelogram, you can directly say that the diagonal makes or divides the parallelogram in two congruent triangles. Vaishnav, I hope you remember this thing. In a parallelogram, diagonals divides the triangles, the parallelogram in two congruent triangles. That is why we are able to say the triangles are congruent. And we also have proved this thing in the theorem part. I hope it is clear now. That is why, Vaishnav, I am not using three things again and again. If you want, I can use three things also. But why to waste our time when we have the theorem? Okay? When you have the ladder, why you are choosing the rope to go to the second floor? Yes, you have to write the reason. Reason is very simple. In a parallelogram, that is my mistake, sorry. I should have written the reasons also. Here, the reason is because in a parallelogram, diagonal divides it in two congruent triangles. Now, I guess it is okay, Vaishnav. Thank you for reminding me to give the reason, because without reason, everything is incomplete. Okay? Vaishnav? Vaishnav? Please answer, beta. Okay. Now, so we will prefer ladder over rope to go to the second floor. Now we have next question, example number 8. Let's see that. So somehow we have proved this triangle congruent to this triangle, this congruent to this, and this congruent to this. So that means we have a connecting link, this triangle. This means they all are congruent to each other. We can say in a triangle, if we join the midpoints, we get 4 congruent triangles which are congruent to each other. You can generalize this thing now. In a triangle, if we join 3 midpoints, we get 4 triangles, and these 4 triangles are congruent. Okay. Sir, how are you able to write this much good using a mouse? Oh my God. after so much of time you are asking this thing now? Because I am using a graphics tablet. Okay. Example number 8. Let's see example number 8. L, M, N are three parallel lines. So first, let us draw these three parallel lines. I again have to use the shapes only to make it look good. The first parallel line, the first line, the second line, and the third line. I guess the converse will be used now. What do you think, class? Try to read the question till the time I am making it. L, M, and R are three parallel lines. So given to you is first L parallel to M parallel to N. So L, M, and N. Now intersected by transversals P and Q. So there are two transversals. Can you tell me what is the transversal, class? Can you define transversal? What do you mean by a transversal? Try to define fast. What is a transversal? Line formed between Moksh saying two parallel lines. No, beta. It is not important that lines should be parallel. Transversals are those lines which cut two lines at two distinct points. Transversals are the lines which are cutting lines at distinct points. That's it. Lines can be parallel, they cannot be parallel also. That is okay. But the main thing is it should cut at least at 2 points, distinct points. So P and Q. Let's see now. Oh, let's see. It is saying such that LMN cut off equal intercepts AB and BC. So if this is A, this is B, this is C, D, E, and F. Yes, class. So given to us is this AB is equal to BC. AB is equal to BC because they are saying they are equal intercepts. Now, what do we mean by this? We have to prove is show that LMN cut off equal intercepts DE and EF also. We have to prove this DE equal to EF. To prove DE equal to EF, or we have to prove E is midpoint. Yes, class. How can we do this thing? Give me a hint. Fast. Which theorem we will use here? We want to prove E as midpoint. Please tell me which theorem you will use. Prove by parallelogram, parallel CF. Okay. Okay. Tegveer saying MPT, but Tegveer, MPT will not work over here. To work, MPT should have two midpoints. You only have one midpoint right now, beta. Tegveer, try to understand. We have studied in midpoint theorem, we require two midpoints. Then we can say this line is parallel to this line. In converse midpoint theorem, we had one midpoint and one side parallel. Then we said this third is a midpoint. Okay, we have to use converse of midpoint theorem. Now question comes, in which part we will apply the converse midpoint theorem first? Please tell me, in which part of the given figure should I apply converse midpoint theorem first? Please tell me, in which part of the figure should I apply converse midpoint theorem? Please name the figure in which I should apply this. Please try, class. ACF. ACF. Very good, Utkarsh. Others, please try. Vaishnav saying CADF. Vaishnav. That was my fear that you will do this mistake. Moksh saying ADF. No, Moksh, beta, not in ADF first. It is later on. Okay. Vaishnav, your doubt first. You are saying to apply midpoint theorem or converse in this quadrilateral. And we all know midpoint theorem and converse are applicable only to midpoint theorem and converse of midpoint theorem are applicable only to, please answer, these theorems are applicable only to no triangles, not quadrilaterals. These theorem are for triangles, not for quadrilateral. Vaishnav, is it okay now? So first you should see this triangle ACF. If you try to see ACF, what you will find is, see, you know this B is a midpoint, you know that this line is parallel to this line, so can't you say that this G is a midpoint? Class, we know B is a midpoint, we know BG is parallel to CF, can't we say G is a midpoint? Class, please answer. Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Okay, now see, proof. First, in triangle ACF, we can see B is the midpoint and BG is parallel to CF. Therefore, we can say G is midpoint of AF because converse of midpoint theorem, and the converse statement is very simple. Line starting from midpoint of one side going parallel to second side will bisect the third side. That's it. So class, is our question complete now or we have to do something else? Class, what do we do now? We have got that this G is a midpoint. Now what should we do? Which triangle should we take? Please answer. Which triangle should we take now? Again, we have to see the reverse triangle. If you try to observe, there is a triangle in reverse direction. This triangle A, F and D. And luckily, you know that this G is a midpoint now. You have proved this thing, that G is a midpoint. Can't you say line starting from G, which is a midpoint, going parallel to AD will bisect the third side? And with that, we can prove that E is a midpoint. Class, please respond. Yes, sir. Okay. Just I'm completing the question because time is up. Only 3 minutes are left. So now in triangle AFD, we can say as G is midpoint of AF and GE is parallel to AD, therefore E is midpoint of DF. How? By converse of midpoint theorem. So we have used converse 2 times in this question to prove this. Now these same concepts will be used in exercise. Try to use your brain, try to use your time and utilize that to find these questions, and I know you can do it. With this, I'm stopping the recording.